We sleekit curin timorous beastie. Oh, what panics in thy breastie. Welcome back to Wee Brown Van. We're still in Barnsoul, but we're heading into Dumfries today just to have a good old look around, but also we need to pick up some new plastic figure of 8 strips. Now that's these long plastic strips that are used to connect the awning to the van. And we've had a little bit of a problem. We've broken 2 of them. I'll let you see that in a second. The way that this works is you have the K-door strip, that's the long flexible strip, and they feed into the figure of 8 strips. That's what's broken. So the first thing is to get them out. This is what I'm talking about. This plastic thing here, I've heard people calling it a figure of 8 strip. Probably because when you look at it from the end, it looks like a figure of 8. And then this flexible thing here, this is the K-door strip. So one goes into the other, like that, and then that feeds onto the rail on the van. However, we've got 2 of these that are broke. We've no idea how it happened. We've not really used the awning very often, so you'd think you'd get a bit longer life than that out of it. Anyway, we have ordered a few more from Halfords and we're going to pick these up now. Before we go, we spot these geese on parade through the campsite. They're Canada geese, not barnacle geese as we previously thought, so thanks to all of you who put us right on that. And in case I don't see the warden Andy later, I pop over to say goodbye. Andy, I just wanted to say we've had an absolutely fantastic time here at Barnsoul. It's an absolutely wonderful campsite you've got. Thanks so much for looking after it.
No problem at all. Glad to have you. I'm glad to see that you've chilled out.
We certainly have. We'll definitely be back.
Glad to see you.
All right.
All the best.
All the best. Cheers. Right, I've got the directions. And we're going to Dock Park.
Yep, there's a car park there that we can possibly use. Hopefully it won't be too busy, even though it's a nice day.
Yeah, it's quite close to Halfords, which is where we're going to get these plastic figure of 8 strap things. No idea why they broke.
None why they broke. Whether it's been the way or the rain pulling it down, I don't know.
We did actually have some high winds in our last sight when we were taking the awning down. I mean, we beat the really bad wind, didn't we?
Yeah, I felt we beat the bad wind.
And I felt that there was a bit of weight on the awning from the wind out canopy which attaches to the awning. There was a little bit of weight from the awning on that, and that might have done it. It's maybe just been too much for them and they've just buckled.
Maybe. I mean, they're not that expensive. I think it's about £8 for 3 of them for our van. So maybe it's quite a common thing that they do break. I don't know.
It could well be. Anyway, we're going to have a really good day out in Dumfries as well. And we've got the sun on our side today. There might be a little bit of a Robbie Burns theme going on, because he lived here apparently, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he ended up here. He's obviously started life in Ayrshire and then came round this way. And I think he was a bit of a, shall we say, what would your equivalent be for today?
He's a bit of a lad.
Anywhere you go, you belong.
The camera on the windscreen is mounted upside down, and I can't help thinking, this is what it must be like driving in Australia. But it's easy enough to flip it 90 degrees and then 90 degrees again in my editing software. I can just hear all the Aussies shouting at me, "Oi mate, it's upside down now." Oh, that's a terrible accent. We've arrived at Dumfries and the only ticket machine in the car park is out of order, so We better not get a ticket. Across from the car park is the River Nith. It runs through Dumfries on its way to the Solway Firth. We're heading up to the Devergilla Bridge. It's a pedestrian bridge built in the 15th century. Downstream we can see the pedestrian suspension bridge and the St Michael's Bridge. And upstream the 1793 Buccleuch Bridge. On the other side of the bridge, the old Bridge House Museum, it's closed due to COVID. So we decide to have a walk into the town centre. This area is called Friars Venel. The old Greyfriars Monastery wall would have been here. It leads to the statue of Robert Burns, overlooked by the 180-foot spire of Greyfriars Church. The 19th century clock on Greyfriars tells us it's time to move on, but not before we admire the decorative stonework around the entrance. Our next stop is to Moat Bray, a Georgian townhouse where J.M. Barrie, who wrote Peter Pan, lived from age 13 to 18 while he attended Dumfries Academy. We head up the high street and reach the mid-steeple, which dates back to 1705. Robert Burns's body was laid out here in 1796 to allow local people to pay their respects. At the entrance there's an ornate metal banister with floral design and carved stone plaques of the Royal Arms of Scotland and the patron saint of Dumfries, St Michael, standing on a dead dragon. The 1882 fountain commemorates the introduction of a drinking water supply into the town, having suffered badly from cholera 50 years earlier, when 421 people died. It awaits funding to be restored to its former glory. We pass by the Hole o' the Wa Inn, established in 1620 and showing Burns above the door. He may have came here, but there's no records to say if he did or if he didn't. But the Globe Inn was a regular haunt for Burns. He referred to it as his favourite howff. That's an old Scottish term for meeting place. The Burns Howff Club meet here, and in the courtyard there's artwork from Burns' poems on the surrounding walls. We're heading now to Robert Burns's house, and we pass this memorial garden. The painting depicts his famous poem, "To a Moose on Turning Up Her Nest with a Plough." We arrive at Burns' house, where he lived with his family from 1793 to 1796. His wife Jean Armour lived here for a further 38 years after his death. This big hunk of rock is just outside St Michael's churchyard. It's got all kinds of Burns references all the way around it. We'll walk you round. Here's an old Burns favourite. Ca the yows to the nows, ca them war the burnie rows. Did I get it right? Honest tam o' shanter, as he fae air a nicht did canter. We sleekit coorin timorous beastie. Oh, what panic's in thy breastie. Robert Burns is interred in a mausoleum in St Michael's Church, which dates to 1746. Many of Burns's friends are also buried here. There's a plan showing you where, and all the graves have named markers. The Burns Mausoleum is at the back of the church, and it's quite an imposing sight with its whitewashed walls and pillars and its dome roof. We're not surprised to find it locked. and the best we can do is get a couple of photos through the glass. We head back to the van where the ticket machine was out of order, wondering if we have a parking ticket or not. Back at the car park, and we didn't get a parking ticket, did we?
No, got video evidence anyway.
It's a good job, we would have proved it. There, have a look at that, that machine was broken.
Yeah.
Anyway, we had a really good time out in Dumfries, didn't we?
Yeah. Didn't get our plastic figure 8 strips. Halfords didn't have the delivery in yet, so I've just cancelled the order and I'll get it sent to the house.
Yeah, well, that's not really what today was all about.
No.
It was about seeing Dumfries, and we had a fabulous time out. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give us a thumbs up. Maybe think about subscribing. We'll be moving on now, so we'll be somewhere else in the next vlog, won't we?
Yep.
So look out for that one. See you, folks.
Bye.